No, Shadowrun, Hong Kong. This was a Kickstarter that actually I think kicked off last week sometime. Its target goal was hitting $100,000 to start and complete this game, and in 34 hours it hit 400,000. So hopefully that means they make an extra good game and not a really crappy game.
400,000 seems actually more reasonable for a game. I don't know how big they're trying to make it, but for most games.
Well, if you don't know anything about Shadowrun, we'll kind of give you a little bit of a quick look back. Shadowrun was a really cool game, came out on 2 different systems, and this was, back in the day you used to see, if it came out on Sega and if it came out on Super Nintendo, they were different games. They weren't like they are now, just port it one to the other. They were totally different games.
Well, yeah, at least sometimes, and definitely in this game, they were just totally different games.
Yeah, just completely opposite games. So that was pretty cool. And because you could get the same game, but literally have totally different experience for both.
Not even the same style, really, of a game. So.
Yeah. And so the Sega game was you were a hacker, or you could be whatever you wanted. You could be a shaman, a hacker, or like a mercenary. And you heard that your brother was part of this gang of cybernetic thieves, because it takes place in the year 2050, where everybody's kind of got these cybernetic implants, and there's mutants and like orcs, and everything's kind of gone wrong. There's like gene splicing and stuff like that. And you hear that your brother got killed in a robbery, and you want to go find out what happened to him. So you go through that. And so it was pretty interesting. I enjoyed it. It was a little more action-oriented than its Super Nintendo counterpart. I'd still say I like the Super Nintendo one a little bit better. But it was really cool. It was a little more in the cyber world than the Super Nintendo one. And then you had the Super Nintendo one where you're this guy who actually has some sort of magical powers, and he's also really good at hacking into things. And you wake up...
He wakes up dead, something like that.
Yeah. You wake up in the morgue, pretty much, and somebody had just shot you, and you're trying to figure out who it was. And you figure out that, hey, wait, I have magic too. Hey, wait, let's see what happens. And that one was more of a
singular story. You didn't have as many options to change things. That's what Sega brought. There's different paths, different ways of doing stuff. This one, it was like you're this guy, and you have this story that you're going through.
Yeah, with Sega, it was pretty much like, here's the end goal, figure it out in whatever way you want. With Super Nintendo, it's like, we're going to give you more of a scripted story and kind of take you through.
So in that sense, the Sega one, I think, was... Yeah, I think the Sega one was closer to the role-playing games, like the tabletop games that they had for it.
And that's where it's
not
all
tabletop,
based
but whatever.
No, it was based off of tabletop, I believe. It was kind of like a D&D roll the dice.
Yeah, exactly. That game.
But but the Super Nintendo version was a little more mystical. Like you ran into vampires at one point and different things like that. Again, I like the Super Nintendo one a little bit more because as a kid, it kind of gave me more structure to figure out what I was doing. Because when you just threw me into those more open type games, I didn't know what I was doing when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. So I figured it out. But it was a lot of fun, and I think Hong Kong would be an excellent setting for a game like this. Because when you think of Hong Kong, what do you think of? You think of,
lots of people.
Lots of people, lots of technology ingrained into the society.
Lots of trade, so everything from everywhere is there. So.
I mean, yeah, that's one of the trade hubs of the world right there is Hong Kong. So you can see all different mixes of people, just interesting culture. So I think this is going to be really cool. Are you excited about it? Are you going to...
I've been thinking, there's actually been a few other Shadowrun games made for PC in the last few years that I've been kind of thinking about playing, but I've heard mixed things. I heard that there's a good one, there's a bad one, something like that. But
yeah, there's a 360 one that wasn't very good.
Yeah, but there was also some PC ones, and apparently a lot of them are made by different developers though. But this sounds pretty cool that they want to follow a little bit the SNES style. That might be interesting because I think the others were trying more so to get back to the strictly the role-playing game, the tabletop game style. I don't know for sure. Again, I haven't played them. I've heard mixed things. That's why I haven't picked one up. This one, maybe pretty cool.
You never know. I believe this is going to be a PC, Mac, Linux release. So, everybody has a computer, so you can get it. But hit us up. Are you excited about it? Do you want to play Did you play the old ones? Which one was your favorite, Sega or Super Nintendo? Hit us up, comments down below, of course, at What's My Face on Twitter, Google Plus, and Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us.